Our first guest is a top Latina peak performance keynote speaker, successful entrepreneur, author, master results coach, and social media strategist. She is passionate about coaching her audiences to align for success by shifting their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors into alignment with their desired results so they can, of course, maximize their potential. Joining us now, we have Deborah. Deras, welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much. Wow, you're good, friend.
Look at all those titles. I should be telling you that. I'm so excited to have you here as a Latina, of course. I'm trying to get all that wisdom from you, and I'm sure their viewers are also trying to learn a lot. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into this?
So everyone, says, how did you get started as a motivational speaker? You don't think when you grow up, I'm going to be a motivational speaker, but I always wanted to be a teacher. Okay. When I was a kid playing with my friends, I would be teaching them little lessons. I don't know what I was teaching them, but I always wanted to help them. And I was getting my degree in marketing and business. And then when I was 19 years old, my younger brother passed away at 16. He had an epileptic seizure. And because he had a disability, I was like, well, let me go back to school to help people with disabilities get jobs. And I was doing that, and I realized it wasn't the people with disabilities that needed the help. It was actually the staff, because they were burnt out. Wow. And I knew I was going to be burnt out because I was in my early 20s, and you left three ways the state of California. You died, you went on disability, or you worked for 45 years and you were never compensated for the work you put in. So I quit my job when I retired, I like to say, at 28 to become a speaker. Wow. Because when my brother passed away, I realized I can't wait till I'm ready, because a lot of people think, oh, well, when this happens, then I could go for my dreams, or I could live my passion. Yes. But my first company was called Passionate Living Now, because I said, you just have to go for it. And my brother, even when he passed, would come to me in my dreams and give me guidance and give me the courage to go forward and do things I was totally scared of.
So I love that you saw there was a problem, but you went around it to solve an even bigger problem. So it's beautiful that you were able to do that. So now you've been doing it for a long time. You say you're not working anymore, right? It's just living the dream. So you've been living the dream for a long time. And I know that you tell us you've done a few things. You have a podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So tell our viewers about your podcast.
Yeah, and one of the things I always say is pain pushes until vision pulls. Okay. So that painful situation, we've all been through challenges in our lives.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah, and it also gives us a lot of wisdom. Yeah. I call these divine downloads, where we're able to hear our intuition. You know, when we have our GPS in our car that guides us where we're supposed to go, we have an intuitive guidance system that is saying, this is your path, this is your purpose. And what I encourage people to do is to listen, hear, and then take that inspired action. And you don't have to wait till tragedy. You don't have to wait till a death or a divorce or a tragic situation to make a change, and not to wait till you're ready. That if you even have that idea, trust if you take that next inspired step, you'll be given the other steps to do it. So back to the podcast.
Yes, I don't want to interrupt you.
Don't let me get motivational.
Yes, I love it. You know, it's great because that's who you are.
Right.
You're living your truth. That's, like you said, you took your inner voice, and that's just who you are. So
right, and I don't want your listeners to think this is unique to me, that we all have the power to go for our visions, to go for our dreams, and it doesn't have to be the hard pain way, because even though pain pushes before vision pulls, we can be guided by a vision. We just need to be still enough to listen to the guidance, because we think, oh, I know from my Colombian dad, go faster, flojo trabaja doble, you need to work hard, it needs to be painful, you need to suffer. But also there's another way of being, which is also being guided by a vision. And that comes from listening to our intuitive guidance system. So my intuitive guidance system told me to start this podcast. And the reason for that was because I'd be speaking on stages and people wouldn't ask me about my speech. They would ask me, so how do I get started as a speaker? I have a message, and I believe we all do, that you are a messenger for a very important message. Your listeners are messengers, and that we have the power to be able to spread that if we believe in ourselves. So the podcast basically tells exactly how I got started as a speaker, and then I interview other paid abundant speakers, and they give all their marketing and sales tips. It's awesome.
I have to say, what you're doing, I think it's even more significant for me as a Latina, because you're already female, so that already has some layers and make things a little bit harder. But also being a Latina adds a little bit too. And like you said, sometimes we have this mentality that we have to work extra hard to deserve something, or we don't deserve it otherwise. So I love that you're doing that. And you're just telling people you're ready, do it now, and you deserve it now. You don't have to necessarily always put in this extra work to feel like you deserve something.
Right, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because my mentor, her name is Oprah, you know her. She used to give me advice every day for 30 years at 3 o'clock, and she would say the limiting belief of all humans is that thought that we're not good enough. And I want all the Latinas listening out there to know that you were born worthy, you were born good enough, and you have unique talents, skills, and abilities, and you deserve to be abundantly paid to do what you love.
And speaking of Oprah, she used to have a book club, and you have an upcoming book. Tell us about it.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited about the book because it's called Align for Success.
Okay.
I used to think that, it's all about hustle and go faster and do more, until one day I burnt out and ended up in the hospital, which is why I wrote my last book.
It happens to many.
Yeah, Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict. So this book is how to align, because when we align and we're aware of what our visions are, we're able to take the actions to get the results we want.
Focus.
But when we're living from a place of scarcity, lack, limitation, and we're moving from that place of fear, we're going to be spinning in circles, and it's going to be frustrating. But when we're aligned, we're going to be able to hear our intuition that's always guiding us to the right place at the right time. It doesn't mean we don't take action, but we take inspired action. So it has more ease and grace.
A lot of people are going to be able to relate to that message. Me personally, being in this industry, it's always go, go, go. It's the same thing. I want to ask you very quickly, you told me a little bit about an academy that you have right before we got started. So before we end this segment, I hate to let you go, but tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay. So in addition to the podcast, I have an online academy. If you go to beapaidspeakernow.com, it's just digital. You can learn everything that took me 17 years to learn how to get paid, right? All in one online, it's like an online training program, but it's like me and you together. And then I also have a group mastermind course that you can join or get one-on-one coaching. And I'm doing retreats now in Italy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I just got my first internationally paid gig in Umbria. Where did I get it from? Facebook. Wow. And that's what I teach people, how to use social media marketing to book paid gigs anywhere you want.
So you're bringing the marketing, you're bringing it all together in one thing.
It's the spiritual, it's the social media marketing, and it's the aligning, because when you monetize your magnificence, people benefit. So you're never selling. You're solving a problem.
Well, you got me sold.
Good.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, Deborah. It's a pleasure meeting you, and I hope you come back. You're invited whenever you'd like to come back and give us some more of this wisdom.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to work on my goals. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we have La Chula Crew. This is Somos Uno.